What if that empty house you saw in your dream wasn't just a strange image, but your subconscious screaming for your attention? You wake up, maybe feeling unsettled, maybe curious, but you brush it off. Just a dream, right? But psychologists and dream researchers are starting to say otherwise. Empty houses aren't meaningless, they're mirrors. Not of your surroundings, but of your inner world. Every empty room, every silent hallway, every door that leads nowhere is a reflection of something missing. And what's missing isn't always easy to name. It could be emotional connection, a sense of purpose, or even parts of yourself that you've pushed so far down, you've forgotten they existed. In this video, we're going to explore 7 deeply personal interpretations of what it means when you dream of an empty house, and why it could be revealing a void you haven't fully faced. These aren't surface-level ideas. They're raw, often uncomfortable truths that most people won't say out loud, but your mind will whisper while you sleep. So if you've ever walked through a dream home that felt too quiet, too bare, too distant from what a home should feel like, pay attention. Because that house may be telling you exactly what your waking self is afraid to confront. And once you recognize the symbols, you'll start to see your dreams not as random, but as roadmaps to healing. The first clue, it starts with the room that feels cold. Not because of temperature, but because of what's missing from within. An unfurnished room in a dream doesn't just reflect a lack of furniture, it reflects a lack of emotional warmth. When you walk through a house in your sleep and notice bare walls, empty floors, and rooms that feel untouched, your subconscious is painting a picture of emotional emptiness. It's not about the house itself, it's about what the house represents. You. These rooms are often symbols of parts of your life that feel neglected, disconnected, or drained. Maybe you've been pouring yourself into work and ignoring your relationships. Maybe you've been keeping busy to avoid feeling lonely. Or maybe you've been telling yourself you're fine while deep down, you've gone numb to your own emotional needs. Dream experts often say the condition of the room matters. If it's completely empty, it may reflect emotional starvation, a sense of having nothing left to give or receive. If the room is spacious but cold or uninviting, it may mean there's room for connection, but you're not letting anyone in. These dreams usually come when the subconscious is tired of pretending everything's okay. It's a quiet alarm bell, a way of saying, you've built a space, but no one, including yourself, has moved in. And sometimes, the house isn't just missing furniture, it's missing feeling. What's worse is that this kind of emptiness can linger even in full lives. People with families, friends, and busy routines still dream of unfurnished homes because emotional fulfillment isn't about being surrounded, it's about being seen. And when that's missing, the dream house stands bare, waiting for you to notice. A dark or cold house in a dream doesn't need monsters to feel terrifying. It's the silence, the stillness, the absence of warmth that makes it unsettling. If you've ever dreamed of walking through a shadowy, empty home where the air feels heavy and the lights won't turn on, you're not just dreaming, you're remembering how it feels to be emotionally isolated. These dreams often appear during periods of deep loneliness, even if you don't consciously acknowledge it. You might be surrounded by people in your waking life, attending meetings, texting friends, living with family, but still feel profoundly alone. The coldness in these dreams symbolizes more than discomfort. It represents emotional disconnection, a relationship that's grown distant, a support system that's gone quiet, or a version of yourself you no longer recognize. Psychology tells us that the subconscious uses sensory cues, like temperature and darkness, to point toward emotional states we're avoiding. A cold house might mean you're holding back from letting others in, afraid that vulnerability will lead to disappointment. Or it could mean you've been emotionally frozen for so long, you've forgotten what it feels like to be truly known. These dreams don't always come with answers, but they come with warnings. Something in your life has lost its warmth, and your inner world is beginning to notice. When the house in your dream feels lifeless, it's usually not the structure that's empty, it's the connection. And until that emotional isolation is addressed, the house will stay dark, no matter how many lights you try to turn on. Dreaming of an empty but clean house carries a very different energy. It's not dark or decaying, but it's still eerily quiet. At first glance, it might even feel peaceful, like a blank slate, but beneath that calm surface lies a quiet truth. You've cleared something out of your life, but you haven't filled the space back in. This kind of dream shows up when you've let go of something, maybe a relationship, a job, an identity, or even a belief system, but haven't yet figured out what comes next. The rooms are empty, yes, but they're also spotless. There's no chaos, no damage, just a kind of hollow potential that feels more like limbo than freedom. Psychologists call this the in-between stage, where you're no longer who you were, but not yet who you're becoming. And your subconscious is showing you exactly what that looks like. Space without direction, readiness without a plan. These dreams can be deeply uncomfortable because they remind you that healing and progress aren't always loud or obvious. Sometimes they're quiet and uncertain. You may feel restless, impatient, like you should be doing more. But the dream is telling you something else. It's saying you've done the hard work of clearing out what no longer serves you. Now, the real challenge is resisting the urge to fill the space with anything just to avoid the discomfort of emptiness. Because what you choose to place in those rooms next, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually, will shape the next chapter of your life. So take your time. Don't rush to decorate your new emotional house. Let it tell you what it really needs. Sometimes in dreams, you walk through a house and come across a door you've never noticed before, or a room you know exists, but you never enter. These unexplored or locked rooms aren't just architectural quirks in your dream world. They're powerful symbols of parts of yourself you've sealed off. When your mind builds an empty house with hidden spaces, it's often exposing talents, memories, desires, or even trauma that you've tucked away, either out of fear or because life forced you to. These rooms represent the corners of your identity that you haven't dared to fully explore. Maybe it's a passion you gave up on, a part of your personality you learned to suppress, or emotions from the past that were too painful to unpack. Whatever the reason, these dream symbols usually appear when your subconscious is finally ready to go back, not to stay stuck in the past, but to reclaim something you've left behind. Psychologists describe the dream house as a metaphor for the psyche, with each room representing a different emotional or psychological domain. So, when a room remains hidden or ignored, it means there's a piece of your inner world that's still locked away. You might wake from this kind of dream feeling unsettled, even if nothing scary happened. And that's the point. The discomfort isn't coming from what's inside the room. It's coming from the fact that you still haven't opened the door. And until you do, the house will keep building that room into your dreams, waiting for the day you're ready to remember what's in it. There's something hauntingly nostalgic about dreaming of a house you used to live in, especially when that house is now empty. Walking through the vacant rooms of a childhood home or a place tied to old memories can stir up emotions you didn't expect, and that's not a coincidence. When the house from your past shows up empty in a dream, your subconscious is signaling that a part of you is finally ready to let go. This isn't just about physical spaces, it's about the emotional weight those spaces carry. Maybe it's an identity you clung to for years, a role you played for someone else, or a relationship you've outgrown. The emptiness in the dream doesn't mean something is missing, it means something has been released. Psychologists often say that dreams about old homes reflect our inner landscape. If the house is bare, it's a sign that a chapter of your life is closing, even if you haven't fully acknowledged it while awake. You may still carry bits of that story with you. Regret, nostalgia, even guilt. But the dream is quietly telling you it's time to move forward. That empty space is not just what you left behind. It's the emotional residue of who you used to be. It's an invitation to mourn if you need to, but also a push to step into who you're becoming. Because the more you hold on to the rooms you've already outgrown, the longer you delay building the ones meant for your future. And the house in your dream, it's already moving on. The question is, are you? Dreaming of a house that's under construction, or half-finished and wide open, might seem chaotic at first, but it's actually one of the most hopeful signs your subconscious can send. While the walls might be bare and the floors still exposed, that empty structure represents something powerful. You're in transition. You haven't finished building this version of yourself yet, but you're no longer who you used to be. The foundation has been laid, the past has been cleared out, and now, your mind is showing you the blueprint of what's coming next. These dreams tend to show up when you're between identities, roles, or phases in life. Maybe you've left a long-term relationship, started a new career path, or simply realized that the way you've been living doesn't fit anymore. The construction site in your dream isn't chaos, it's creation. The emptiness isn't lack, it's possibility. Psychologists often interpret this dream as a sign that your subconscious is trying to catch up with your conscious growth. You may not have all the answers yet, and that's okay. These kinds of dreams are messy by design. You might feel lost or uncertain, but what you're really experiencing is the blank space where new values, priorities, and identities are taking root. The house isn't built yet because you're still deciding what kind of life you want to live inside it. And just like in real construction, there will be delays, detours, and a lot of work, but also the chance to build something stronger, more authentic, and completely your own. These 7 dream symbols, empty rooms, dark halls, spotless spaces, locked doors, abandoned childhood homes, and unfinished structures, aren't just fleeting nighttime stories. They're messages, each one whispering the same quiet truth. Something in your life feels missing, and your subconscious is done pretending it doesn't notice. Dreaming of an empty house isn't about the house at all. It's about what it reflects back to you. The silence where connection used to be, the hollow spaces left by change, the unanswered questions you keep tucked away. And the most revealing part? Your dream doesn't need to say a word. It just shows you the space and waits to see if you'll walk into it. Psychologists have long believed that the houses we dream of represent the self. So when that house is stripped bare, cold, or frozen in construction, it mirrors something deeper. A part of you that's still searching for meaning, healing, or even just acknowledgement. Some people see these dreams during transitions, breakups, career shifts, or personal losses. Others experience them in moments of emotional burnout, when life looks full on the outside, but feels completely empty inside. Either way, the message is clear. Your mind is trying to make space for something new. So the next time you wake from a dream of an empty house, don't brush it off. Ask yourself, what have I let go of and what haven't I replaced? What part of me is waiting to be invited back in? Because the truth is, those walls were built with pieces of you. And maybe, just maybe, the house isn't waiting to be filled with furniture. It's waiting to be filled with you.